hold on, because y'all can see mine. Hold on. A little confident and terror going on. What the fuck? Are we doing this? Like, is this like... I don't know how. Okay, I had it right. Y'all can just ignore me while I fix shit. You know, back in the day... It's so funny, you can see my stuff over there. What's up? How are you? Over there. Okay. Alrighty. Oh my god, why can I not? What the fuck? I used to be able to, you know, fix shit so that it would be whatever. But not today. You just finished your coffee? Yeah, it just felt right. I was like, okay. Yeah. So, I don't know what's going to come through. Although, I want to say I did have some messages and revelations that were coming through about people having, like allowing someone to speak something over you. God, I look so fucking white with this. I'm sorry. I turned the light on because it's dreary outside, y'all. It is dreary because, you know, it's like one of those overcast days and stuff like that. And I'm trying my damnedest right now. Let me put my brush over. That's better, right? No, I'm still fucking like Casper. It's this wall. I need to put my picture up. Anywho, so just be careful. You know, we all have people who have our best interest at heart. And they will speak things or pray things over us in an attempt to help and assist us that can inadvertently actually create limitations for us. There are people in my family and in my life. Hey, how are you? Who don't share in my belief systems, and by all means absolutely love me and want to look out for me, but would pray things over me in a sense to try and keep me like veiled because they think that I might be talking to bad spirits. And this isn't just like Christians. There's others that will be like, we'll try to act as if you just don't know. You're just in, you know, like you're so naive, you need help, you know, and so they're going to speak things over you in an attempt, because if they feel like what is best for you, like when someone says, I'm gonna pray for you, it's like, fucking no, you're not. Like, part of my protections is to create a barrier. And I have to be really articulate about what that barrier either filters or deflects when it comes to my energetic field and me. Because people will try in an attempt, you know, it's like a plea to the universe, please help, and sometimes the wording in which they say things can actually create an energy around you that works against what you're trying to do. And so, and if I think of examples, very specific examples, I'm going to start writing them down and bring them to you all, because it has something to do with that. Like, I feel like people may have, like, sometimes when we say, be careful, you know, like who you trust and stuff, you could have somebody that genuinely supports you and would be there for you all the time. And like, if you ever needed something, I'm here for you, I'll do this, you know, but what they put out in regards to you because of either patterns they've seen or, you know, I have to be careful of what I pray and speak over my children, because it could be in stark, I could think that that's protective. But because it's too expansive, it might also block certain other things, you know what I mean? And I should never supersede what it is that their higher self is aiming to achieve or garner or gain. And so, like, you know, one of those things where it's like, you could have somebody in your life that they have no ill will towards you. They really want to see the best. And so they and their family or anybody that might be connected would speak things or pray things over you that could be counter to whatever your your desired path is. And it can create like an energetic resistance. It can mess with your connection. And if you are too, if you're in the energy of allowing that, where you I have even at certain points, like, someone says, "Can I pray for you?" And I'm like, "Sure, absolutely." Like, I'd always let you pray for me because I know her intent or what spawns them to do that is their love for me. But what she holds as a truth is different than mine. And in what she speaks, it's, sometimes the words can sound great, but what she believes energizes what she is saying. And within her belief system or his belief system, because I male, female, both in my sphere, actually is counterproductive because they only have this one belief system and anything outside of that is wrong. And so they're going to try and speak things on me from that belief system, which may be completely, I don't care if their human thinks it's for a good reason. Energetically, it's completely counterproductive and at a cross to what it is that I want and desire. So you could be going through, and so like when we get those cards, like beware who you trust, it's that kind of thing. It's like you could even have people in your inner circle that still should not be speaking over you or speaking things into existence for you. You might think they're amplifying and they may not. So when you are doing your protections, make sure that you are putting something in place that keeps what you want, desire at the forefront, that allows your spiritual team that you trust and is ordained by you to filter through and deflect as is necessary, that would be counter. And you need to be specific. What does that look like? What does countering it mean? Like what ramifications am I trying to avoid? So just be careful, because that came in and that was like a whole big thing in my meditation this morning. And it was like a realization of certain people where I'm like, oh, and I could see where they think protecting me from this is necessary, right? Based upon their beliefs. Like they may think that I am naive and I'm opening myself up, but in veiling things like this, it could also counter, like put a fog over my connection. And if I'm really open to them and not seeing what can be being said, like I know people who've spoken things over me and I'm like, as long as it's not counterproductive, I left it at that. And I was like, oh, and I come back later realizing sometimes when I'm trying to connect on why certain things aren't, what I mean? It's like, okay, why is confusing? Why is today like this? They could have logged on and saw me and said a prayer. So you have to be careful about that. So I'm just going to put that out there because that is something that we think that is always a malicious intent. And we'll say nothing that's malevolent. And it's like, it's not always that. Sometimes it's just something that's not in frequency with what, and if we're supposed to be in the driver's seat, right? With this whole, with spirit, right? We're in the driver's seat and they're our co-pilot in this collaborative co-creation. Why would we hand things over like we're in a self-driving car and be like, don't hand things over to other people. Be careful of that. Stand in your power, speak into, and we even have cards. They're bringing me to the cards in here where there's one that says, make your intentions known. Like you've got to be very specific about, see here, beware who you trust. This is what they're showing me. Where is the other one? I know it's going to be at the very fucking end, of course. Jesus, there's so many cards in this. I forget sometimes. Yeah, this one. Let your intentions be known. Okay. And like seek a union of mind and spirit. Like you may be saying something, like I did with that, like, oh, as long as it doesn't counter. They could be speaking and praying over my children, and that may sound very lovely, but if they are speaking something and praying something over my children that I'm not aware of in an attempt because they love them or because they have a fondness for them, what are they speaking over my children that would limit me and in my path? Because as a parent, I fucking like they're going with me, like, right? Like they're coming with me. And so if something that is spoken over them keeps them in a placehold or anything else like that, then it inadvertently affects me. So it's one of those things where you have to be very careful about what you allow in regards to something like that, and be very selective. And in doing so, it doesn't mean that you see somebody as vile, malevolent, or evil or ill-intentioned. That's the kind of thing, like, that's what I want you to understand, is just making sure that they are absolutely in alignment with you. And the only way to know if you're ambiguous about your own intentions and what does this really mean when I speak this into existence, and sometimes our human wants to add human detail. You have to think in a more energetic sense of what will and will I not allow, and what is and is not acceptable. And if you know very specifically a particular goal, you need to make sure, as a part of your protections, that your goals are protected and that nothing can come in that would subvert that, unless it added to the process of attaining that goal. So just be really careful. That's going to limit. It really, really will limit who you allow. And if there's things that you're like, I would love the energy of what they want, what their human wants for us, but not specifically because some of their beliefs that they put into this, I feel are not in alignment with my energy or my path, then you need to be adding to your level of filters and protections around you to kind of like a bug zapper, get rid of that as it comes close, right? So it's just your responsibility, making sure that you understand that. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, it was 11 of them, wasn't it? All right. So that's that. That was definitely a message that needs to be said. Let's figure out what we're going to pull today. I have some good coffee today. And I already had a cup. And I'm breaking my little rule of 1 cup. But it's really good. I grabbed this without fucking thinking, so obviously it's meant to. All right. I mean, thank you, Spirit. We got the Queen of Pentacles with Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, okay. We'll start with that. No shit. Still the Ace of Pentacles. That's because it didn't get off the bottom of the deck. But Page of Pentacles. Okay, so if we have the Queen of Pentacles, that is being in the capacity or the place to be able to finally take action. One who has everything. It's almost like at the ready. Like, you have all the information, you have the capacity, like you have the ability to do something. You just need the avenue to do it. Page of Pentacles is the avenue to do it, and it's like the Queen of I almost said Queen of Cups. Queen of Pentacles wants to bring in the Ace of Pentacles, nurture it, help it to grow. That's her forte right there. Build on it, that type of thing. And so she just needs the avenue, which would be the Page of Pentacles. So this is the idea. And these two energies are very similar in the fact that it's brand new, right? has a lot of potential to grow, might be a little immature in its development or in its implementation, but it is, and that's the whole point. Meaning it does exist. The possibility, the potential is not just potential. It already, because potential is like it's not yet in existence. This is in existence. So it's the avenue of something here. Nothing like getting corrected mid-sentence of, sorry. Okay. It's funny. I'm surprised. I felt like people would be finally waking up right now. It's like, ooh, bitches. Or like, yes. I heard somebody say, you know how like sometimes like the overall energy is usually the middle card, and like if I have like an even number on each side, I heard somebody this past week say that the first card has more energy, has like when you start it out, that has like a heavy influence on the reading. And that just came to mind. I don't normally read like that necessarily. I just let the cards tell me if it has more energy to it. I don't have a lot of rules when I read, but you know, I have some, but not a lot. And so that came to my mind though as soon as I saw it, and I'm like, oh, justice. Okay. We have, holy shit. So we're going to also go with, like, this holds a very large energy, but the overall energy, because we've got 3 here, and obviously the center card, we have justice. It is shit balancing out. I want to say in an integral way, because we have the sword here, which would be like the Ace of Swords, which is about integrity, truth, a new path that aligns with you. Because sword cuts away that which no longer serves you, or that which is not good for you, and now it clears something for you. So there's clarity. And then we have the King of, the King of Cups. King of Cups. Okay, let's keep going with this and see where it's going to go. I feel like I need to pull more before I delve into this. But the fact that we got 10 of Cups and the King of Cups on each side of the Justice card. And I want to say, I feel like that sword that she's holding almost cut something away, brought in clarity that brings things into some type of balance, or something was cut away that allows something to proceed. Like your just rewards, like justice coming in. I'll tell you what. I shit you fucking not. I swear. I need to like tilt this down so you can see my desk just a little bit more. There we go. I might have to. Oh, I didn't chop my head off. Look at that. Are you proud of me? Y'all know my nose spray. I just have weird shit over here just so you can see stuff. Okay. What did I just talk about? Like the fact that this is the middle card of these 3 that came out. I was just saying Ace of Swords. Something was cut away, or a clarity has happened. Because usually when you cut away something, then the path is clear, right? So something was removed that allows us to come in, and looky what came out. Ace of Swords. And I want to say we got the Page of Swords, which is, again, either some type of communication, some type of information, some type of knowledge or truth has come in that has then led to this Ace of Swords, which will then allow this to occur. Okay. So let's get into this. This is the overall. We'll get to the King of Cups. I feel like he's going to be last on my list of things to figure out. We're just going to give me all the right, Terry? Okay. So this is either, with the Page of Swords, this is either somebody speaking a truth, somebody discovering a truth, or somebody coming into knowledge of something. This could be something being communicated. That's what it is. It's either a truth being communicated or a truth being acknowledged, and from that, something is cut out and clarity is restored. I wanted to say received, and they said restored. And that allows everything to flow in. That allows the culmination of everything to happen, almost like the doors to open up. So I first and foremost want to find out, what is the Page of Swords? Then what did that information or truth, what did it clear out? How did it clear? Like, how is it suddenly a clarity now? What is the path ahead? And then we will get to, I feel like the World card has everything to do with these two things. Okay, so let's start there. That's how we're going to clarify. Okay. I'm like, you sure you don't want that one? I don't know why. Okay, but they're like, no, I want this one. Okay. I'm just asking. This is Azathoth Tarot. By the way, this is Secret Tarot, in case you all wanted to know. Oh my God. That, when your nose starts to itch already, it's already. It's all around the outside. I'm like, okay. So on the split, they maybe do a double take. It's the Fool with the Four of Wands. So, okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I'm asking about the Page of Swords. Like, what kind of either truth have you come across, or what has been communicated to you that is suddenly allowing clarity to come in that kind of cut something away? What is this clarity? What is this truth? And we have clarifying that, the World, which is over here, obviously, right? It's something that allows a broader view, like a bigger understanding, like an understanding. It feels like an understanding that someone wasn't seeing before. It's like, you know, when the picture or the view is obscure just enough, you're like, I don't really know. And it's like one little tweak and suddenly the picture comes into view. It's like that one little puzzle piece is like explains a lot of other things. You're like, oh. It's a more expansive view of something. That's what the World is. It's more expansive understanding or clarity. And it's funny because it has something to do with your work. I do have like the Three of Pentacles, something that you've been attempting to build or something that you have been trying to expand on, something like being seen, they said, like an acknowledgement or, if we're talking about business or career, you want to have more visibility. You want to be more expansive. You want to get on people's radar. You want to build in your career or in your business or in your profession or on your hobby or anything else like that. You want to turn your hobby into a career. You want to turn it into how you sustain yourself, things like that. That's where that's why the World is here, because you wanted to expand. You wanted to, because the World is also being like on the world platform, right? It's like reaching places that you haven't reached before, connecting with people you haven't connected with before, like more than in just your little bubble type of thing, right? So we have the Three of Pentacles, and then we have the Four of Pentacles with that, which means it was limited. There was a limitation. Four of Pentacles is status quo, but not quite knowing how to get beyond it. Almost like, when someone doesn't recognize how to expand or what to expand, um, so they stick with the same old, same old. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't really know what and it's like, well, I don't want to rock the boat, so I'll stick with what I know. It's that sense, right? Because there's obviously something that's already established. It's the Four of Pentacles. Fours are about a foundation, right? And it's like something that you have created, but you didn't know how to veer from. You're like there's hesitancy. You're holding on to that pentacle because there's a bit of stubbornness, right? Like almost being too stringent or too tight, like not going beyond what you've been doing, or not being able to see how to expand and do something other than what you've been doing. um, there's the hesitancy or resistance to that. And it's like whatever this Page of Swords is the hidden factor that you weren't aware of. Got the Moon card here. It's shining the light on something that's been hidden, or under the surface, that's been preventing or keeping you from expanding. And maybe, okay, so I'm getting that the Moon is indicative of something that you didn't realize would hold you back. Does that make sense? So you were hesitant or resistant to it. um I know it feels like key information though. Like, when somebody says, like somebody might give you a piece of information, they bring me to like on some of the other apps, the clock app, who we're talking about here. And like you always see these posts about how the algorithm is changing and this is what you got to do and this is what's being preferred now. And it's like you've got to kind of go along with that in order to be able to expand and be seen and build your business, right? Because there's a lot of businesses on there. And so they're like, where's the visibility? I'm trying all these other things. And they don't really know what to do unless people inform them, because there's certain people that go to these classes. It's weird, y'all. And I don't know how you get invited to the fucking classes about algorithm updates and changes and things like that. But it's like elects people to do this, and then they come back and they present this information to people, and I'm like, okay, but why don't you just tell people? Like, why don't you just do a release for everybody? Like, why is it gotta be like, I don't okay? Because maybe somebody hasn't seen one of those posts. They didn't know there was an update, so they just keep doing what they've been doing, right? Because they're like, well, I'm going to keep doing this because it's all I know. And the last piece of information I had was this. So there's this hesitancy to try other things because what if you lose the ground that you already gained in something? So you just keep doing the same thing, right? Because the Four of Pentacles is that energy of still maintaining your base, but not growing. It's that sense. And I'm not saying that this is for influencers or content creators or anything, but it's the same type of energy, like there's that one piece of information that you're like, oh, that would have been helpful. Or, oh, that makes more sense now. Oh, now I know why things aren't popping off. Like there's something like a piece of advice or wisdom that is shared or a truth that is revealed that you're like, oh, I got the clarity on how to move forward now. Oh, okay. And it puts you in a place where you can reach more people or you can be more expansive. It's like people like teaching things on LinkedIn. You're like, they're like, how to get in with the recruiters. Do this little hack. Why is it gotta be so? Why is it gotta be like that? Why is there gotta be some secret something? Right? Moon card. Like, why is it gotta be like, not everybody knows it. You just gotta be in the know. Like, it's just fucking annoying, right? But you catch wind of something like that. It is like jobs that get posted for a company, right? And but like sometimes they post within the company first before they put it out on the public sphere, and like you're not always aware of it. You kind of have to know somebody in that department, because it's like they don't advertise it to everybody in the company. I've been there before, right? And so you're like, what? And so your friend kind of lets you know, because if you had waited until it was posted on the public platforms, either it could have been filled already and you wouldn't have been able to throw your name into the hat, or you would have missed it, that kind of thing, because you're inside. Like, it's funny because, or like some people need, it could be the opposite direction, right? Like where like the hiring person needs the piece of information of clarity for you. Like I've had it where the only reason I got a job was because somebody internally suggested me, not even my boss, not even something like that. Like, but like, like if you have a referral from within kind of thing, right? And so it's like it flags your status, and so they'll pick you first over the others. And it's like without that little bitty something or other, and like you may not even know that. You may be like, I've tried to apply for a million different jobs within this company. It's that kind of thing. It's like the little piece of information, and you're like, are you shitting me? Something that you probably could have been doing, but you didn't know to do, or you didn't know or had no awareness of. And that little truth, that little piece of fucking information lets your karmic rewards to come in. And you're like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Let's ask, what specifically is this going to clarify? And I know they kind of touched on it, like it might be what you can do or implement, or, with the 3 Pentacles, to be able to make something pop off. It's like people not knowing how to do SEO, and like you have to do SEO even on YouTube and shit like that. It's you know what I'm saying? Or it's coming across a piece of information like I wish I knew how to get paid for X, Y, and Z. Like I wish I could get paid to learn a new trade, and then something comes across your feed, and you're like, oh my god, are you serious? Like this actually exists? Because if you go Googling, that shit just don't pop up. And so like something comes in, and you're like, huh, okay. Sorry. So this is just that piece of information. All right. Let's ask about the Ace of Swords. I heard something buzz. Like, what does this do for your path? We understand it clarifies it. It removes the mysticism around a piece of information or a truth. But I think the whole point of the sword is you kind of have to move forward with that piece of information, right? I still feel the need to pull. I'm trying to think, like, there might be something more that I want to add to that. Okay. We're using, do I have the book? Moon Magic Oracle deck on this one. And this could be literally whatever information you've garnered. You realize it teaches you what you have to remove or eliminate in order to be able to walk that path. Because, for me, the sword almost like cuts away the debris. Like I think of like a machete almost, or a sword, whatever. And it's like you've got to cut away to make your path. And then you can see, like you can get through. And so maybe there was just stuff in the way and you didn't really know, but this little piece of information or this truth that comes through, and you're like, oh, well, let me remove that. Because it could be all about the removal of something that you didn't know you had to remove. And maybe you were like, I've started this, but I don't know how to proceed because it doesn't seem like I don't understand. Like, I don't understand the path forward. How do I make this grow? How do I continue this? How do I evolve it? And it's like, even like my story, like what I talked about when I first got on, where other people could be speaking something over you and you don't even, and it's once it comes to your awareness, you can go, oh no, I will not allow that. That's not allowed in. And you start to filter that out. And it's like the clarity comes through for you to be able to move forward, but things also can come to you, right? Because once the path is cleared of all the debris, the brushes, the limbs and everything else like that, that might be obscuring it, whatever is on the other side can start coming towards you as well. Like there's some kind of barrier. So it could be that as well. All right. So it's almost like a piece of information that helps you move forward that also tells you, for some, what to remove. And it just allows things to expand, right? And you had no clue about it. You didn't realize it was obscuring anything, right? Just like people who don't understand SEO, and it's like, oh, well, you've put this and this and this on the back end of your website, and so that's stopping the traffic. All you got to do is remove this, and you're like, are you shitting me? That's it? Like, it's a piece of information that's very vital. It's an understanding, a truth, something communicated. Let's talk about the Ace of Swords. Please bring clarity to the... Okay. All right. Just three of them came out. I always, again, Black Cat, I'm telling you right now, I always associate any Black Cat with Bast. If you work with her or you don't, maybe that is something you should look into and what she does. Bast is exceptionally good at not allowing, much like someone speaking something over you, like the role that she plays with me is not allowing any malevolent or counterproductive energies or entities to enter into my sphere. So like she keeps an eye on who I connect with as far as like spirits, energies, whatever you want to call them, who's within my spiritual team and making sure that things don't get infiltrated. She's a protector, right? But she is like my inner circle type of protector type of thing. So she catches the things that I might not be aware of. And that's her sole purpose. That's what she does when I work with her. And so that's the kind of like that's coming to mind. I can't help but bring her up when I see this card. And then we have the waning gibbous and the quicksilver. So all of these, I need to put these down on the Ace of Swords, is kind of what they're talking about here. Let's go ahead and bring this out. Y'all know I love the... Tell me I am... It's over here. I was looking, it was hidden. All right, here we go. I'm going to go by this. I do like the messages that are written by the creator, Black Cat. So this is talking about confidence in yourself and your ability to attract a mate or see off a competitor. The Black Cat goes their own way in their own time, regardless of what others think of them. The epitome of independence and free thinking. It's the unobstructed movement is what it is. Develop a strong sense of autonomy. This feels like somehow, sometimes the things that you think benefit you and that you rely upon can actually be the obstruction in your way. And so this is like building that sense of resilience and independence and relying more on your own magic versus others to get you through something. this is amplifying your level of knowing and understanding, confidence versus fear, that you're better at knowing what is right and well suited for you than anybody else. And that it aligns with the message before I got on, that sometimes the support that you value in others can really be the obstruction. And so when you are more confident within yourself and your capabilities and your ability to discern, your ability to protect yourself, you don't rely so much on the, I don't want to say validation, but the support of other people, the protections, the safety nets that you think they provide, which really just end up being a barrier to you. It's saying some of the things that you think are a safety net or that should be in place to protect you are really just a limitation on you. That's what it's saying. Got it. So it's cutting away those things, the things that you think are actually protective that are really just limiting you. Waning gibbous is it's a time of reflection. Take a deep breath, gather your thoughts before you do anything. It's like a time of decompression, like releasing, just it says even positive, happy events such as moving house, getting married. We talked about this. This is a reading. This is a reading before. Moving house, having a baby, or graduating can take their toll. It might be that you feel the need to retreat for a while and spend some time in solitude or with very close family. Circumstances around you may have run away with you, and you have had the rug pulled out from under you in some way or some fashion. Even success can leave us feeling somewhat overwhelmed at times. This card is telling you to sit for a while and come to terms with these events rather than fighting against them. All will be well. I feel like this is talking about reflecting and looking upon what it is that you had to remove and getting a really good understanding of what was actually obstructing you and how to rely on yourself moving forward. And I just feel like this is the sense of you were relying on something, or you were allowing something in your sphere because you viewed it as something that was protective, but really it wasn't, it was obstructive. And so it kept you from fully moving forward or seeing how to move forward on a path. And so you were like with the Four of Pentacles, you were holding tight onto something. Like, this is the status quo. It needs to stay this way. And they're like, no, something else needs to be removed. And that had to be revealed to you. And whatever is removed is what allows you to evolve and build and things like that. So the Ace of Swords is about the removal of something. Okay. And then we have the Quicksilver. And we'll see if we can get any kind of specifics. I know that this is a general. And so I want to, okay, they're already giving me something. For some of you, it is a person or a person's influence that just was not necessary. Like maybe you thought that they were giving you the best advice and that they had pure intentions and clear judgment, but they're still doing things based upon their lens and with a bit of projection mixed in. And their lens, if their lens does not completely align with yours and it can obstruct your own, especially when you rely on those things. And so there's this idea or notion that there had been people potentially or circumstances like that second or third job that you have that you're like, oh, I gotta have this in place to protect me just in case X, Y, and Z happens. Because, like, especially if you're trying to build something, like you're holding on to a second job and you're like, because I need that extra layer of protection, financially. And they're like, that's actually preventing you from going full throttle into this. It's creating an obstruction in your path because your energies are divided. And so, you're not really able to put all your creative energy behind something. It could be something like that, guys. Okay. So it had to be removed. It's like, believe in yourself, right? Black cat, believe in your independence and your capacity to do this, and that you are safe, that you don't need certain safety nets that you view as safety nets. They're really not. They're really not. Quicksilver. Magic happens by the quicksilver light of the moon, and this card is here to let you know that a time of precious good fortune is on the horizon. This fortune is fleeting. It will not last and is not meant to, so make the most of it while you can. Even though it is a temporary turn of events, it will leave a lasting impression and it will change you in some way for the better. You'll never come to regret the time you spent under the influence of the Quicksilver Moon card, for wonderful, unexpected things are drawn to you right now. Welcome them with open arms. Whatever path this creates, allow you to move forward, whatever clarity it gives you, you begin to move forward. But it's like, it is not the thing that's lasting. It's what you do with it that's lasting. Just like, if you think of millionaires or billionaires, or like, they're always like, money will always come, but it's not like they understand the ebb and flow of energy in the universe, and that it's like you have to go with the flow, right? So they're not always in a position of just waves upon waves upon waves upon waves of stuff coming in, and they don't have to worry about it or think about it or do anything about it. They are aware that they have to utilize that. You enjoy it, in that temperance energy, like you enjoy it, and you don't allow, like, you don't operate from the energy of, one day I'm going to have it not here, so I've got to do something with this. You go, oh, this is great. You, instead of taking it from the energy of desperation to make sure it never leaves you, you go, ooh, this is my opportunity to play and grow and things like that. And so you just get really smart and strategic and tactical about how to make something work, and how to build from it. Like, you don't take it for granted and you don't assume that it's always going to be there. There's a level of gratitude that is expressed through how you take action on this. All you can do is live in the moment and enjoy the magic while it shines into your life. It brings a message of joy and hope for a brighter future ahead. See, it says, don't mourn its passing. So I feel like it's like, some people, as soon as they get something, they automatically think of, when it's no longer there, I'm just gonna have to return to. And I think that's the energy you've got to get rid of. That's part of what's being removed, is this energy of this understanding or belief that, or hyper focus on that there is an ebb and flow, and so it won't always be around. And so somebody's already looking at, oh, things are still going to go bad. This reminds me about, okay, so we're going to use the energy of like somebody who has 2 jobs or 3 jobs, and it's because they won't let go of the other ones, because the whole reason they keep it there is at some point the other might falter or fail, or it could go belly up, or money might not be coming in from that avenue, so I got to keep these other avenues open just in case. But in actuality, that is, just like content creators, if your niche is like 20 different things, you're never really bringing somebody in, right? No one, because they don't ever know what they're going to get from you, and so they may not be drawn to you. It's like they want more of this, and you're like, but I gotta do these other things just in case. Like, it's like having octopus hands and just thinking that you need to do that in order to be able to sustain yourself, right? And it's like that hyperfixation on how things are not necessarily permanent, and so it's like you enter into a joyful moment already panicked about it being gone. You're being truly blessed with Quicksilver light. It's like, don't focus on the fact that you're seeing everything as temporary. And with the four of Pentacles, it's like you're constantly always trying to hold on to something. And in that energy, you don't allow it to grow and expand. And so it's like, instead of focusing on how do I stretch something out and maintain a status quo, take the energy of how do I take this goodness and build from it. So it's like, I swear, it's like getting a grant or getting a loan and being so worried that you've got to plan and get everything in place and do this, that, and the other in order to make something pop off, because I won't have this money forever. So I've got to figure out the way. And that almost stifles it because the energy at which it is put behind it. Okay, let me bring these three into play, because I feel like the black hat and the winged gibbous made a lot of sense together. How does this tie in with each other with the Ace of Swords? Like, what are you trying to say? We're going to do this. Let's see what time it is. Oh, I'm trying to make these no more than an hour. We shall see. Okay, it's literally reiterating it. Black hat is having faith and confidence in yourself and not constantly having to worry about, do I always have a safety net? You holding on to money, or you holding on to opportunities, or the refusal to take opportunities because you think that they're fleeting, is stopping you from expansion. So it's like somebody who gets money, a loan or a grant, and it's like, I won't spend it on this, this, and this because I'm going to need it for these things. And it's like, had you spent it on this, this, and this, you could have made it last longer because it would have brought in more, you would have expanded. But your fear of depletion, Five of Pentacles, your fear of being depleted is stopping you. It's like somebody who won't invest in a marketing manager or something like that because they're like, I don't have money, and like if I give the money to them, I'll be depleted. I won't have any more. And it's like, but had you hired the marketing manager, your business would have boomed, and there would have been the extra money that you needed. I get a very strong sense of stubborn stinginess, where it's like, because of the fear of something and not realizing, making the most of something that's right in front of you. And that may be the piece of information that you weren't aware of. It's like, you're doing this. It's like maybe somebody would tell you, hey, if you spend the money on this, you'd have a return on your investment tenfold. And that instead of paying X, Y, and Z, your first move should be to hire this person or to invest in that. And then you wouldn't have to worry after that. Like, you've been taking the wrong approach this entire time. Because we have the Hierophant, which is talking about business and structure and institutions and things like that. And then we have the Five of Pentacles with the Emperor. And it's like, there's examples and wisdom external to you. Like we know that you want your business to be different, but when you're starting it out, you have an existing financial and business structure, capitalism, all those kinds of things that you have to begin things within. You know, it's like just like with the job, and you have to have like an internal person, right? And you didn't have a fucking clue about it if it wasn't for that, because this is how it's structured. Now, you can change things and mold things once you get into it, but sometimes you have to start out within the existing structure that's already in place, the existing institution. Sometimes to get your foot in the door, you've got to know the rules, right? To get that door open, because it's about getting your foot in the door first. So even if it's like the Clocky app, right? Or even UbiTubi and their algorithm and understanding their rules. It's like, you know what? Once you pop off, you can really then express yourself. But until then, you're not going to be pushed out into the sphere with the way that you're doing things, because it's against their existing. But once you have the followers, once you have the people, once you got the clientele, it won't fucking matter, right? Because the sheer number at which people watch you, click, this, that, and the other will push it out into the algorithm more. And so it's like sometimes you've got to abide by the limitations that you see, right? That are put in by an existing institution that you feel like limit you or keep you without. It's like you have to operate within these realms. You've got to try it. You've got to do it in order to be able to expand. But once you have that expansion and you've got that leverage, and this is what all people who have a lot of influence financially or who are affluent and things like that, they understand that. It's like they don't become the system. They understand the system to use it to their advantage, right? And so there's a level of taking lead at the emperor. You have to take the lead in this. In order to put you in the forefront, you've got to play the game a little bit. But then you get to change the game once you become the emperor. Okay? And so 7 of Wands is like, it's securing the bag. I just heard that. It's securing, like, you knowing what you are. Okay, 7 of Wands is protecting the self. Like, you're like sometimes to look out for the self, you have to, like, again, you don't have to agree with everything. You can be like, this system sucks, but you do what you got to fucking do. And then from within, or once you're established, you can start changing the rules. Just remember that, right? So they're saying, by all means, within the realms of integrity, don't compromise, right? 7 of Wands. But don't be the 9 of Wands where your walls are up so much and it's like you look at the, like, having to play the game as, or having to fit within this institution or existing structure as like your own personal vendetta and fight. Like, it's my job to fight it. And it's like, the best fight is from within. You know what I mean? Some institutions are so fortified from the outside, you're not going to be able to make those structures crumble. Maybe that's how the tower moment happens, because those people, you know, on some cards, it's a lightning bolt that does it, but others, it's like, what if they fucking blew it up from within? They're jumping out. They're jumping ship. Like, they brought that shit down. You want something to change. You want to be able to take things your own direction, but sometimes you have to. Like, the idea of taking out a loan, a business loan, or getting a business credit card, or any of those things may seem scary to some. And it's like, I don't want to do all of that because I feel like, you know, what if this happens? And what if this happens? And it's like, that could be your leverage, to making something pop off. And so this is sometimes being like, starting out with the existing rules and the existing structure is your in. Okay? And trying to fight against that. I don't care how much you think it's wrong. You're not going to have as much of an impact because you won't get very far. Okay? And so we like this thing of like, protect your integrity by all means, but don't put up a wall and think that this is a fight for others, because the 7 of Wands isn't about fighting others. It's about securing your success. Right? Because the 7 of Wands comes after the 6 of Wands, which is your victory, your success, the hard one, like the trial and error that you went through to be able to make something, right? And to get it started. And it's like, to move forward, you might have to play within certain rules. But once you establish yourself as the emperor, you make the fucking rules, right? And so that's how you expand. That's how you build on this. Okay. So, and it's almost like it is guaranteed that you will expand if you play your cards right in this capacity. Like, if you understand this. So if you catch wind of a way within these existing rules, like something's revealed that you weren't aware of, probably because you didn't pay attention to the status quo, because you didn't give a shit about the status quo and the existing structures, and you never really wanted to conform to them. Don't look at this as conformity. Look at this as infiltrating and securing your bag and success. And it's like you get like an insider tip. You get an insider look at things. You get a hint, a clue, a truth, and it's like, and then that truth helps you to remove all the barriers that are stopping you from expanding. And then, bitch, from that, you grow. Like, things pop the fuck off. You have far reach. You have more influence. More eyes will be on you. Like, you'll stand out. So let's take a look at the 10 of Cups and the King of Cups really quick, because we're already at an hour. Okay. Okay, we're just gonna go to Kipper and see what the 10 of Cups, like it's like thy cup runneth over. I shit you not, thy cup runneth over, the gift card. I get the sense in the question of, but what do I do right now? Because it's like, if somebody's been in that 4 of Pentacles, obviously there's not been that growth. And so there may need to be, I feel like somebody wants a little bit like they're still viewing this as, okay, if I do this, then it means this. But somebody's looking for something almost more immediate. We'll get to that. Like, someone's perceiving this as, but that still will take time. And even as quick as it could happen, it still may be, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, you're going to get your wish. You're going to get your desire. Okay, we got the gift with the distant horizons. Distant horizons is the 9 of Cups energy, right? It is the dream. It is the desire. It is the wish. It is the want, the thing that you're trying to get to, right? And it's like, you'll be given this. It'll happen. It is finding your way within an existing structure. I said that weird. To get what it is that you want. Yeah, that's when most people are able to start changing the rules. A few times people can start out, a business, and it'll pop off because all the circumstances are right. Okay. Like, when people start business and it's like we took a different approach than everybody else because we saw that it wasn't working. But sometimes the environment, that's when society and people at large are ready for that, and the time, like the energies are conducive to that. And sometimes the opposite is true. Sometimes the only way to pull society or a group or an existing institution away from one way of being is to get within and to change it from within, right? And that could be a business. It could be, again, even like as a tarot reader, let's use an example. You're like, I don't want to do it like everybody else does it. And they're like, yeah, but you've got to build the following first, and then you can start setting the precedent, right? Once you get yourself out there, you can start setting the precedent where it's like, this is going to be the way. Because people exist within the clock app, and like the way to reach the people that you want to reach are through these existing institutions, right? Are we itching? So sometimes you just have to play by those rules, right? We got the Queen of Pentacles energy coming through again. So in the beginning, we had the Queen of Pentacles with the Ace of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles is like, I've got everything to make something happen except the avenue or the bridge or the whatever, right? So they're wanting to make something materialized or to make something into something they can grow, like the Ace of Pentacles. So comes in the Page of Pentacles. Here's how you do it. This is the opportunity. This is the thing. And so like, this is the avenue. This is the method. It's something that can be done. It's a new way of doing something in the material. So like, she's got everything. She's got all the skills, all the capacity within her to do something. It's just the how. The how exists within an existing institution or an existing way of doing something. Commitment. They're saying you're going to have to commit to this. You're going to have to say, okay, so some Four of Pentacle energy, I'm holding back on something, and finally you realize, okay, this is the way something's got to be done. I've got to do this. This is the way to move forward. Fine. So again, it's something that you were fighting against, or you were like, that's the answer. The thing you were resisting a little bit is actually the way in which you get what it is that you want. Yeah. And so you're just going to have to commit to this in order to create the foundation that you're seeking. In order to create, like, to really secure something, because this is about security, stability, things like that. That's what the House card is about. And then you can expect recognition. This is agreeing to enter into something that has an existing structure. That's what this house is. That's how, so you have to enter into it a certain way, but how you move forward can be different. Like once you are well developed and well secured within a niche of business or within a industry, then you can start to change something about it. If you commit to an existing structure or operating within existing rules, you'll find the stability that you need. And from there, high honor, recognition. This is about public recognition. This is about being elevated in status, being elevated in other people's eyes. You can expect that to happen. Okay. This is good fucking information. It's like somebody went to Spirit and said, I need to understand this. And Spirit's like, we know that you're meant to change things. That's why that was like whatever the status quo is doesn't feel quite right or quite in alignment. And that's by design. Because you are meant to do it differently, but your foot in the door. You can't like there's not one cookie cutter way, right? Just because we see success with some people who pioneer something, most of the people who have pioneered something were involved in the existing system for quite some time. They knew it thoroughly through and through. And so they were able to take the knowledge from that and expand or to change the game. Rarely, not never, but rarely is it that they just have seen it and, you know what I'm saying? Because again, when society is all buying into the way something has to happen, or the deconstruction of the way things have always been or a particular institution or the rules around something hasn't quite happened yet, you do what you got to do to get to that point, right? So we're just not in the place where whatever it is that you want to do, your type of pioneering is going to be well received, because other things haven't been fully deconstructed. And it's like getting that piece of info. So you're going to be given some insider information on how to move forward, one way or another. Sometimes it's just somebody letting you know, like the unspoken rules about something or somewhere, and they're like, just play within the rules, just play within that, and your moment to expand or break out of that will come. We don't all get to be that person that blows shit up and starts things differently, and then we you know what I mean? Like, it just isn't, yeah. So what's the King of Cups? Let's talk about that. What's the King of Cups? And then we'll pop off. Your ticket. Sudden wealth is also like coming into a sudden, it'll happen suddenly. It's like your cup will be exceptionally full. It's your ticket. It's your wish, your desires, the Nine of Cups. The cup that the King of Cups brings is the cup that turns the Nine of Cups to the Ten of Cups, right? And so we're looking at like, this truth in the Justice card is the thing that can bring you karmic rewards. It is by following it, you fill this cup up, or this cup gets offered to you and turns things into the Ten of Cups. Because also with the sudden wealth card, it's like, this is like such major abundance. It's almost like the lottery win or something like that. It's your ticket, the King of Cups. It might not quite be how your inner feminine envisioned it. Like when you're creating this baby and you're trying to grow it, it may not quite be that just yet. And so like that might be where part of the resistance was, is because it's like your vision doesn't look quite like what it's requiring you to do at this point in time. But trust your inner masculine when it starts taking those steps, because it's going to lead to where you want it to go. It's just not going to start off how you thought it would. Like sometimes we what we envision is closer to the end product of what it is that we're going to what comes to fruition, versus, and we gloss over like, what would that take to get there? And because sometimes the path to get there takes us through avenues that we're like, no, that's the stark contrast to what I want to end up doing. We then get hesitant, and it's like, no, you need to go through this. This is your door in. This is your ticket. Because we have the feminine who is concerned with this baby. This is her baby. This is her, kind of thing. And it's like, but as is, nothing is popping off with that. Because of the approach, because the feminine is too hell-bent on this idea, this dream that hasn't yet come into fruition, to the way something looks at its end product, and is too afraid to allow the natural flow of how you've got to get there. It's leaving them out. It's almost like feeling like you should be further along than you are, or you should, but there's been a resistance within you with your feminine to let go of the control, because she fears that her dream will be morphed, changed, and deformed by the choices that the inner masculine is making to take action towards it. There's like a distrust of existing structures from your feminine's perspective. And it's like a fear that that will tarnish it. Okay. Anything else before we hop off? There's going to be a lot of luck. I thought there's two. Is this? Yeah. Oh, motherfuckers. I was like, it felt like 2 cards. I was like, oh my God, this is something stuck. Okay. Hello. We have an immense amount of luck. This is actually the clover. By being strategic with your work, because we do have the bees, it's like you'll get sweet reward, which is the honey. Okay. But this is actually the clover in this deck, which is all about luck. Like there's a lot of luck to be had. And I'm like, what a fucking abundance. Trust the process, even if the process doesn't look like the end result that you've envisioned. Okay. And so whatever is revealed to you, again, a truth that you may have to come to, or some insider information that someone gives you, it may feel counter, right? Like there may be resistance within you to do that because it doesn't seem like that doesn't feel like what I want to achieve, or like I just don't like the status quo and that's why I don't do it. Well, by all means, understand you're doing it this way so you can change that, right? And it's like, I don't know, maybe your resistance to going that direction to implement or bring to life something or to expand is because maybe by not actually getting the recognition that you want, that's the safety net you have to let. Because remember, we were like, somebody's got a safety net, and like that's actually obscuring things. Like you think you're selling yourself out by doing this, and so you're like, I'm not going to do it. But really, underneath there might be an energy of, yeah, but at least if I do it like this. I think that might be a fear of actually being seen. Maybe you fear once the eyes are on you, or like you get to a certain level, that you might receive hate, or you'll discover people that don't like you, or that don't like your business, or don't like, you know what I mean? It's like the person not wanting to put their business out on Google business page because people will leave reviews. And there's some fucktards out there that will just leave shitty fucking reviews because they're entitled little fuckers and things like that. And you're just like, oh my God. Or like maybe there's just like you feel like somehow the extra recognition will ruin, because other people will put expectations. Like, no, if you serve this, you need to do this. And if you do this, then you'd have more bit. Like everybody's got a fucking opinion, right? And it's like your baby is so precious to you. You would hate to have to change things so greatly just to achieve that. And they're like, that's the thing that's holding you back. Like you assume that. Just think about it. Okay. There's a lot here to help you. A lot of information that was just shared to say, hey, there's a way to expand and grow. And it may not be the way you want to. Like you didn't envision you having to do these things, but it's like getting your foot in the door matters. And then what you do with your platform or your capabilities thereafter, totally you get to choose. Hey Cosmic, how are you? My coffee is even better now that it's cooled off. Like certain flavors just taste good when they're in an iced coffee. That's not iced, obviously, but it's not hot either. So, that was a good one. I liked it. So, I hope that was beneficial to everybody and it finds who it's meant to. Yeah. I did want to ask about like right about now. I'm doing okay. I'm better now that it's night. Well, it's a little cloudy today. It's supposed to be nice though. They didn't say it was going to be cloudy. I don't know why it's overcast. It's not supposed to rain. But like there's something in me that gets so much life and happiness when things start turning green and there's vibrant colors around. And it's like, oh, you don't even understand how much outdoor time. I feel the need to address someone questioning, like, I think someone's getting it. Reading might have been a confirmation. I'm getting this nagging feeling of, like, maybe the feeling of like, okay, well, I've waited so long that I know to take this action, but maybe there's an immediate concern and someone's feeling like, okay, I'll start doing this, but what do I do right now? Because like, there's this idea that what, like, taking this route and doing the other way is going to take longer than someone has questions about something immediately. Like, I get it. I understand. I know I need to move forward in this capacity. I'll do that. But what about right now? Okay. What about right now, Spirit? I mean, frequently. There's at least, people talk about this all the time. That's why we have the Three of Wands. You can take action. It doesn't mean it's going to happen immediately, right? So someone's like, okay, like there's a question of the Four of Pentacles. Like, I've kind of withheld for so long. What about right now? I heard hanging on by a thread. So maybe somebody's like hanging on by a thread in regards to something. It kind of reminds me of like a person who is getting laid off and then like is trying to look for a job within the same company. But by the time they catch wind of this information, they have to, like, it takes time, right? Because once you start interviewing again, like, shit, like, sometimes that shit takes 4 months. You're like, oh my God, why does it take so long? The process, right? And so you're like, whoa, okay. You know, I finally get it. I understand. I've asked around. Somebody finally gave me the clue on what to do and how to schmooze and how to whatever. And I can get this. This is just an example, guys. I'm trying to get, but what do I do about, like, right now? Like, that's the way the energy feels like, okay, but what do I do right now? Because that, those types of processes can take a bit of time. And there might be something more pressing right now. Maybe had I known that information earlier, I could have gone that route, although we know that I was probably resistant to it. I'm finally open to it, but I've kind of got myself into a pickle. Like, there's something more immediate that is of concern. And it's like, it's great to have this information, but what does that do for right now? Hey, Dune, how are you? Right? I feel a bit stuck for now. Sounds familiar. Oh, this is a general read. I'm not doing personal reads on live, so just that you're aware. Do you have a response to that? Because I feel that nagging, like wanting to know, do you have a response to that? Moon Magic again. It's the only deck that has any energy to it right now. Metamorphic and Moon Blues. I'll see if those come back out one more time. Got the last quarter. I feel like 2. Okay, I felt like there was another one. I guess not. We will leave it at that. I'm not going to force it. We'll start here, and if it calls me again, I thought there would be two. I felt like there was two. Oh, creativity and release. Once again, things hang in the balance. Of course, that's what we just said. With any aspect of life, to experience the highs, we have to also feel the lows. Don't give me that shit, Spirit. Oh my God. Seriously? To enjoy the flow of abundance, we must also endure its ebb. This card indicates that a time of rest is in order, just long enough to process the journey you've been on. I'm going to go out on a limb, and whoever the fuck this is like, bitch, I've been resting. I rejuvenated now. I'm done resting. Like, I feel like this person would be perfectly okay. There's got to be external circumstances that are a bit of a pressure on this whole just rest, just wait. Now is the time to reassess your situation, your creativity, and so on. So it's almost like that planning, like now that you receive the information, you need to recalibrate. Like get yourself prepared to take the actions that you now know you need to do. Like a little bit, I get the planning, a little bit of like, like take a reprieve, take a breather. What does this mean then? Reassess, allow it to sink in the different way that you've got to maneuver. It's like look back at your past, see what worked best for you and what didn't. Like, there's just a reevaluation. Now you've got this information. What are you going to do with it? Like before you take the action, what are you going to do with it? See, this card can also represent times of crisis, loss, poverty, bereavement. So somebody might be going through this right now. It says, take heart though and trust that better times are not far ahead. And really take a look at what you can do to improve your situation. So they're like, hey, this is the immediacy that you're experiencing is a natural consequence of that Four of Pentacles energy, right? Of that withholding, of that hesitancy, of the not wanting to accept a truth or not knowing what a certain truth, right? And so this just kind of happens, like the example I gave, where there's a lag between the end of one thing and the beginning of the other, and it's like, oh, what do I do? And they're like, this might just be a time that you have to ride it out and endure it to a certain degree. And know that once you start taking actions the way in which they've said, you're going to see a turnaround. And they were like, so at this moment, what they want you to do is, what actions or lack thereof are represented by that Four of Pentacles energy? And now that you know, because that piece of truth, that piece of information, now that you know that that's the thing that was blocking you, maybe it's not using somebody internally to recommend you, maybe it's not reaching out to various departments to find out what's available prior to it being posted, maybe it's like like you're like, what does that mean for the change in how you move forward? Like, how does that translate into the steps you take? Like, you need to think about that and recalibrate that. Well, no shit, Spirit, but guess what? We've got consequences that could create another obstacle to moving forward, is what I feel like. So how do we address that and do what you're suggesting? Okay, so I knew there was another one. It's like they wanted me to stop first. They wanted to make a point with that one. Okay. And I don't feel like for everybody in the last reading that the thing that was hidden from you was completely your fault. So how do we deal with things as is right now, so that it doesn't create yet another obstacle? But we're well aware of our lack of action, or whatever else it is, played a factor. We don't need to be reminded of that. What do we do with it, with the circumstance as it is? We're not looking to have any more obstructions to the path ahead. We got fly by night. It's funny because fly by night is like, you may not want to just indulge in anything at this point in time. So maybe somebody feels like they've got to take some kind of immediate action. It's like, maybe that's not a good idea, because that wouldn't necessarily pan out well for you. It might seem like a good idea in the interim, but it's not in the long run. But fly by night also feels like fleeting. And it also means like not necessarily trusting everybody. It's funny because we do have that with blood on the moon, and blood on the moon can be like indicative of being cautious. Okay, hold on. Let me get to it. So I think that they're saying this, whatever you're facing right now is fleeting. Okay, be careful not to try and don't. I feel like you're like I don't want to create a bigger issue than what already is right now, because I want to be able to move forward now that I'm aware of what I need to do. And they're like, but don't. There's like something about like sometimes maybe not doing something is better than trying to do something to address the here and now, the present, right? Like the best option is to actually plan for your next move rather than try to address this immediate fleeting situation or circumstance. It's like you've tried all these short-term things to help out the situation, and that's been the problem. I guess whatever was obscured kept you from doing the long-term plans, and whatever resistance you had within you kept you from doing the things that would be successful long-term. And they're like, none of that short-term shit seems to work, and it may actually create more of a problem for you because we have fly by night. It's like this situation is fleeting, or any immediate response that could be taken is a little bit fleeting. But see, it's funny because in the last one, it's like something was coming in that was going to, they said, would be fleeting. They're like, use it to your advantage, though. Let's see, blood on the moon. Let's read this. So it's talking about taking steps to moderate negative influence as much as possible. It's about treading carefully until this influence has passed by. I just feel like they're saying, be careful, okay, on what you choose to address this immediately, because it could just create more issues for you. Because you tend to hyper focus on the more immediate things, and it distracts you from making the plans that you need to do to implement what they just told you about, right? And so it's like, don't shoot yourself in the foot kind of energy by only putting your energy into temporary things. Even in the last reading, they were like, so, like I feel like there's an over reliance on temporary band-aids for a situation. It very well may be that they're like, because I'm getting the sense that this is describing like, hey, you're about to have something come in. Because remember the last one when we had a movement, it was like, there's going to be something very joyful come in, but you've got to find a way to build on that. So instead of taking it like, oh, I could take a break now, blah, 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 or being in the energy of, I got to figure something out for right after. It's like, no. You already know. You need to start making moves for the long-term plan. Okay. And so you've got to utilize this to capitalize it. You've got to utilize this time frame. So to me, it's like they're saying that they're like, because what's coming in from before is going to be fleeting, right? As in, it's not going to stick around forever. It's like kind of getting that grant or that loan. And it's like, you need to use this time wisely. Start using that to implement things for the long term, right? And be willing to put the money towards certain things that will benefit you in the long run, because that's what's going to keep you afloat. My jaw just popped. And the blood moon is cautioning you during this time to be careful with your steps. First quarter. First quarter. The outcome is dependent on you and your actions. It is up to you to ensure that you remain on track and stay motivated. Don't give up or give in now, as you are closer to success than you think. Any challenges may be an indication that you are close to achieving your dreams. Any challenges that appear does not mean that you are failing. Keep your goal in mind and be aware of what you are working towards. Okay. Yeah, I feel like they're saying, so is there a temporary fix for what's about to come in? Is there? I said funny, guys. Okay, is there? Let's just address that, because again, most of the time, the reason a person can't seem to focus on the long term is because of short-term difficulties that appear like fires that they need to be putting out, and that's the reason why they can't move forward. If that makes sense. Will the immediate need be taken care of? Let's just put it that way, so that the person can focus on the long term, the efforts that will bring true lasting. Archangel Tarot. Sorry, I get going until I hear stop. We do have an Ace of Fire. exciting new opportunity, career advancement, change your life. So there is something. There is something. Let's get some more. It's like you got to play the big boys game, is what I want to say. What I want to say. You may be upset with not having heeded to this or not knowing this before or not like, whatever. They want you to know that there's seeds well planted. There's a temporary standstill or a temporary pause in action, but you don't need to worry. It literally says under the Seven of Pentacles, things will pop off. You don't have to worry in this moment. So whatever it is that you are looking at and you're like, this is concerning, and so you feel like it has power and will distract you from taking the steps in the long term. You're like, okay, that's fine and dandy. I get it. But what about right now? They're like, no need to worry. Okay. That's literally it says at the bottom, Seven of Pentacles or Seven of Earth on this deck. It says unnecessary worry. And then the Three of Air is this sense of, they're talking about the recalibration and getting yourself prepared and understanding something. And so you might be a little upset with yourself where you're like, okay, you know what? I should have known this before. I should have, right? And it's like, look, that's neither here nor there at this point. Okay. So because underneath it says, forgive yourself, forgive others, that kind of thing. Whatever you weren't aware of or whatever you were ignoring, that you were resistant to, so you couldn't get that understanding. Remember that Page of Swords. There's either a truth that comes and you're like, I get it now, or information that's divulged and it's like, how did I not know this before? You could be like upset at other people. That's neither here nor there, okay? Like, just let go of that, because it literally says take time to heal, take time to recalibrate. You might be a little upset at how a trajectory has happened. Forgive yourself, forgive others, let go of that, okay? What is this? Talk a little more about the Ace of Fire. There's a level of excitement here. I heard momentum and steam. So you may be, right now you are focusing on whatever's in the present, which I think is because you refuse to take certain actions to either come into the knowing of something, or like you've been taking actions based upon a false sense of truth, and then somebody reveals the truth to you and you're like, and you might be resistant to the fact that you have to kind of play within this existing structure in order to make something pop off. And it's like your own resistance to whatever, your own lack of knowledge. You might just be pissed because you didn't know. And it's like, or you're pissed at other people because you didn't know. And it's like, how has this not been something in my awareness up to this point? And it's like, you're focusing on that too much. We've got the Five of Cups, which literally says, again, it says things not turning out how you'd expected or hoped, right? I was hoping not to have to go that route in order to make something happen, or not seeing the positive in the situation, or kind of like over focusing on the fact that it hasn't happened yet and that you feel like either people failed you or you failed yourself, kind of thing. Like whatever truth is coming out from that Page of Swords to the Ace of Swords, whatever awareness you're coming into now, it's like you're a little piffed. I was trying to say pissed and biffed at the same time. And so it's like, don't focus on that, because right now we got to focus on the long haul. Okay. So if you get yourself riled up and wrapped up into this, you're not going to be taking the steps that are necessary. Okay. Then it has the Page of Water, which is something coming in. Something new enters your life, something very abundant, some opportunity that has a capacity. And then we have yet again the Three of Pentacles, which showed up twice in the last reading. So it's to me saying, Page of Cups, like there's this opportunity, exciting new opportunities, career advancement, that kind of thing. Something is going to come in that might give you your in. You may have not wanted something similar to this before, but it's your opportunity to expand. Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles, and this one says, recognition for very high quality work, being a team player, which requires compromise, and just like the power of your creativity. It's like being put in the forefront. So there is an opportunity, like the opportunity's there. But you might have to play within someone else's rules for right now. A little more clarity on this, because it almost lines up, but it feels a little off too with the whole, like, because it's saying something's coming in, and it's almost like whatever is presented will give you the opportunity to shine. So it's like this opportunity, this help, this resource, this good turn of events is fleeting. You're going to have to take steps to make this last longer, to build upon it. So it's almost like a good event that you have to amplify and build upon. And before, what that would have required, maybe you either didn't know what it would require to do that, or but you know now, and it's like, so now that you know, do. Here's the thing, you have the capacity. You've got the ability to do this. The Queen of Pentacles showed up again, started out, that's what we were seeing in the beginning from the last read. So it literally says you have the capacity. You're creative, thoughtful, warm. You take the sensible approach. But yet it's also saying, we've got the Queen of Pentacles with the Queen of Wands. And they're saying you've got everything that you need when this comes in, whatever this opportunity is. Flat the fuck out. You have to, whatever's coming in, you're going to have to be aware that the level of which it can impact your life is dependent on you. And so you've got to be willing to make the right moves once this comes in. You're going to have to get rid of any and all fucking resistance. And if it means you got to play within other people's rules to start off with, then so fucking be it. Okay? If you've got to play within other people's rules, so fucking be it. It gets your foot in the fucking door. Period, point blank. All right? This is how you're going to expand. This is how you garner the attention that you've been wanting. This is how you grow. I feel like saying whatever level of resistance you had to it before, you're going to have to fucking get over that. 3 of Swords, get over that shit. You're going to have to let that shit go. And while you see something right now in front of you, they're like, don't worry, something will come in to address this. But by all means, take the necessary steps so that you don't have to be in this position again. Okay? We don't want you in this position again. You have the capacity to never be in this position again. Queen of Pentacles. You've got it all. You've known that you should be able to, I don't care. If there's certain rule, again, if there is an institution that comes in and says, hey, we'd love to give you this opportunity, but here's the rules, you're like, oh, dude would be like, no, I'm going to be totally mean. I don't know. And it's like, just get your fucking foot in the door. Don't squander this, okay? Because I see here 5 of Wands. It literally says bothersome details. There may be details of this you don't fucking like. Whatever this truth is. Again, I gave you a million scenarios in the last reading and even some in this one. It's like, get over yourself, okay? You're gonna have to do what you gotta fucking do to expand. And then when you get into that Emperor energy, boom, you're good. But up until this point, recognize shit for what it is. And I feel like they're also saying now that you have this missing piece of information, or somebody reaches out and communicates something to you and it clears a path, because we have the Page of Swords and the Ace of Swords, this could be the person bringing in an offer. I feel like a truth is revealed. And that truth gives you a path forward. And it's like, don't be hesitant to take that path forward, because once it clears, you taking steps on that path will allow things that you want to take steps closer to you. So you can sit there and stand at the beginning of the path and stare at it and be like, I don't like this, this, and this. Then you're making your own choice then. Don't get pissed when you show up in this energy again of being like, having to put out a fucking fire is what it feels like. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. I don't know. What was the safety net that the person was holding on to? It's like you don't want to change an aspect of what you were trying to do. There's like an element of that because it made you feel like, I don't know, like you were giving in, or I don't know. That's what I feel. But what was the thing that from the last reading? Pride may have been a part of it too, because it says you got the Queen of Swords, which is making that choice to eliminate something, but also having a greater view of the end game. The whole point of the Queen of Air or the Queen of Swords is that she gets to pull it out. She has that eagle eye view. She sees everything, which allows her to know how the steps are, right? She's the one that can see things 10 steps ahead, because she's pulled out from it. She's got that objective viewpoint. Something within your energy kept you from having that. You were holding on to something. And then it says, by doing this and taking the steps that are necessary, you'll have success. We got the Six of Swords. This is the way, the Six of Swords is that transition period, right? This gets you where you want to go. Things are looking up, the end of a difficult situation. Making moves towards something. I feel like saying to a certain degree, almost like get over yourself a little bit. That's the way I think that it's like, you are the thing that's in the way at this point. Especially, it's like you could before. Oh, that was your comfort. Thank you, Spirit. I was like, where's the answer? Your comfort before was not seeing certain things, like that safety net. Because if I'm ignorant to something, then I can't be blamed for something. Then I can't be held accountable. If I ignore a truth, which you may have been doing, or if I don't, but once you become aware, it's like from this point forward, anything that you fuck up is your fault. You don't get to blame other people. And then we have the Magician. You're ready. You have all the resources or ability to make this happen and bring it to fruition. Like, you don't get to play dumb. You don't get to feign the victim. You don't get to of the circumstances. It's almost as if something will be introduced because you're worried about the right now. And they're like, oh, we're going to send you the answer. Oh, something's going to come in to help that. But are you going to do the exact same fucking thing you did the last time the opportunity arose, or the last time because you were so resistant to take the steps that were necessary? Six of Cups, Six of Water. I don't know who this one is for, but they are giving me that your safety net was your children. Like, you were using children as an excuse for something. Not being able to do something, not be able to action something, and whatever comes in helps to take care of that. And Spirit's going to be like, now what you going to fucking do? You going to follow through with what you said you wanted to do? Like, I feel like there's a sense of, because they're bringing me hell up to the children here. it literally says issues regarding children. So that must be for someone. It's like whatever comes in, it's like, sorry. It's like, I hate to say this is for somebody, I don't know who it is. It's almost as if you felt limited to move forward because of an issue regarding children. And you're like, okay, Spirit, how do I move forward? And then something comes in, like a truth is revealed that clears the path ahead. Like a piece of information comes in, you catch wind of something, and it might be regarding like whatever this truth that comes in, or communication that comes in, or whatever else it is, eliminates the issue regarding the children. And so then Spirit's like, now what? What you gonna do? That's for somebody that felt very specific. Hey, Shruti. Greetings. But also the Six of Cups feels like don't be in the Five of Cups that we have had before. Plan ahead. When this good thing comes in, use it as fuel and momentum to secure the bag, is what I want to say. To make those long-term plans, last quarter moon, to take the steps, plan it out, and don't rest on the laurels of this good whatever comes in. Build so you never get back to that spot again. Like whatever fires you keep seeing, or whatever you see that's in the negative, it has been a lesson. Like I feel like you've had other opportunities or things come in that instead of leveraging to your advantage, you kept focusing on how it could not work out, or how it, like you saw the opportunity, there was something positive happened, but you would look down and you're like, but you would only see obstacles. You're like, oh, but then I will, it's like, I'll run into this, and then I'll run into this, and then I'll run into this. Or so you focus more on those Five of Cups energy. You focus more on that shit than you did, what can I do to make this shit pop off, to make it last? And that's what the Six of Cups with the Magician is. It's like you've got the capacity, and you can, like, you're focusing more on, again, that kept you always in the idea of, in the energy of short-term, seeing things as a short-term answer, and also only looking for short-term answers, and only taking actions that kept you in that this only takes care of the right now. Whatever that is, your safety net might have been an excuse, or an ignoring of a truth, or pretending like, well, I just didn't know. I didn't know how to move forward. They're like, now you know how to move forward. Are you going to? It's like your excuse gets removed. That was your safety net. It could be regarding children, or it could just be the fact that you literally could see other ways that something would go negative. And it's like, if we remove all the negative potentiality, would you fucking finally move forward? It's in your bag. It is your responsibility when this comes in. Either you're going to, and that's why they're saying, take some time. You need to figure this out. Like maybe when this first comes in, they really want you to focus. Like I feel like something might happen to help with the immediate energy. And they're like, how are you going to use this to your advantage? Plan. Because it won't stick around forever. You've got to figure out how to move forward and be cautious about your steps, right? Like make sure that the steps you take are going to benefit you long term, and don't get so wrapped up that you make no steps towards something, right? Yeah, you're the only thing standing in your way. You're not going to have an excuse after this. I feel like every fucking excuse you've had, safety net, oh, I don't know this, or oh, I don't know that. And it's like, and so you just stayed stuck, and you've been happy staying stuck. Not necessarily happy, but you just stayed stuck, period. You were in the Four of Pentacles energy. And it's like, it's getting fucking removed. So now what? Now what? Ball's in your court. Okay. I think that answered it. I feel better about that. So, anyways. All right. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. That was a nice long reading. And I'm not sure when I'll be back on, but I'll be back on at some point. Okay. You all have a great day.